Welcome everyone, that's Rita.
This is Tony.
And this is Discourse.
All the track stations are ready.
So what is this? To all the boys I've loved before. Oh, Jesus.
No.
What? So I didn't read this book. Rita is going to try to convince me that this book is even worth reading. So let me read the summary. Lara Jean's love life is about to go...
Hold on. No, Lara Jean. Lara
Lara?
Yes.
Oh yeah, Lara, okay.
Thank you.
Lara Jean's love life is about to go from imaginary to out of control. Mm-hmm. Jesus. Lara Jean Song... Whoa, Lara Jean Song. Okay, so she's Asian. The beginning of her name sounded kind of southern. Lara Jean Song keeps love letters in a hatbox her mother gave her. One for every boy she's ever loved. She can say anything she wants because the letters are for her eyes only until the day they're sent out. This sounds super dramatic.
And it is.
All right, so who is Lara Jean Song?
No, God.
And apparently she's writing love letters to herself?
No. Okay, so her name is Lara Jean Song Covey. So she has two last names because her parents, one who is white and one who is half Korean. So Song Covey, Korean, English. Okay.
So she has four names.
Mm-hmm. Well, no, she has two first names, which is totally normal.
Yeah,
for the most
we
part.
all have four names. So four-named person, is now writing love letters.
Lara Jean. She's writing love letters. So the love letters that she's writing, it's to 5 people in particular who throughout her young life she falls in love with or has like a special moment. So she writes them a love letter because they're so intense and like so fiercely that she's feeling for them. She wants to like kind of say goodbye to that person or that love. So the only way for her to do that is to write these letters to be like, okay, I loved you, this is why, and I'm done with it. But she's never planning on sending them out because, first of all, that would be totally awkward and weird, especially for like a young teenage girl to do that.
Because it's not weird for a young teenage girl to be just madly in love with a guy from one like interaction they have.
So that's the thing. So she doesn't she writes the letters because she doesn't want to linger on that person or have it be like this year crush or whatever, or love, whatever it is.
So that's her way to get over.
So that's her way to say goodbye.
Amazing crush she's had for this guy
like
that she's known for a day.
I mean, in some of them, a couple of them, she's known for a few years in her middle school years and elementary school.
So she's
years.
in high school?
She's in high school. So when this takes place, she's in 10th. No, she's 10th going into 11th.
So she's in high school and she has these crazy feelings. Is that normal?
Yes.
I'm not a girl. So for girls, is that normal to just be like head over heels for a guy that you meet once?
Or just see.
Okay, so this is a nonfiction story.
Yeah.
About how women fall head over heels for a man that they meet once. What happens after that? Does she murder anyone?
No.
Is this a Lifetime story?
No. It's
okay,
not.
I've got a couple of questions just to be clear about what this book is about. Does she murder anyone?
No.
Does anyone murder her?
No.
Does anyone try to murder her?
No.
Is there a death of any kind?
Kind of, yes.
Is there CIA operatives?
No. It is not.
So there's no killing?
No.
Oh, okay, continue.
Oh, God, be quiet. That's horrible. It's not that bad.
Okay,
so you gotta give it a chance.
So she writes these love letters, and then apparently these love letters get sent out. So she wasn't intending to send. So she's writing in a journal.
No, and she literally writes on like nice stationery, and she does the whole like dear so and so. She writes what she feels, and then ends it, and she puts it in an addressed envelope.
What?
Yeah, but without a stamp. Okay, without
a stamp.
Because
that's the official line where you're trying to mail something. So she writes a letter, she puts it in an envelope, she addresses it to the person.
To the person.
She licks it, she seals it, she puts it on the counter.
No, she doesn't put on
and
the counter.
has no intention of marrying.
No,
She is insane.
She has them wrapped in a nice little blue teal with a ribbon on top box, a hat box that her mom got her before her mom passed away, which is to the death. That is the death that it happened before the story begins. More emotions, whatever. What's wrong with that?
Women.
Tell me about it.
So her mom dies before, and it's like a super tragedy. Are we doing spoilers?
Let's say not yet. Let's say at the end.
Okay, so she dies tragically.
Because I am just dying to know what happens.
I know you are. And so she dies, and then years later is when this takes place. Okay. So this is like the one gift she gave her that's like specific to her, because usually throughout the years her mom would always buy them the same types of gifts.
So her mom buys her this box that she puts the letters in. Mm-hmm. Is it a lock box?
No, it's just a hat box.
So it doesn't have a lock of any kind?
No.
So somebody could easily open the box.
And that's what happens.
Find these address letters and be like, oh, this is mail. Yeah. I should probably send these out.
So in the book, her little sister gets angry with her. Her little sister Kitty, who's my favorite character, she gets upset at Lara Jean, and like a little sister always does, goes into her room, snoops around, finds all the good stuff, and finds the letters, puts a stamp, and sends them out. So
dick move, bro. So did the sister, when she found the letters, did she read them? Like, did she know what they were about?
Yeah.
So they weren't sealed?
No,
so she stamps them and seals them. And then sends them off.
Yeah, with cruel intentions. But also...
But how did she know these would be cruel intentions? Her sister is pouring her heart out to these guys. It could be that these guys would be like, oh, thanks a lot. Let's have a relationship now.
So also, there is a little part of her where it's like, her sister, she wishes she lived a little bit more and wasn't so afraid and, you know, gave herself to all these loves, you know, because ever since her mom died, she kind of cut herself off.
So she wishes she had given herself to these random men that she...
No, not like that. Not like, oh, here's my body. No, I mean like, she wished she could just live a little bit, let people into her life.
Oh, okay, so the little sister...
Yeah, gets back at Lara Jean because, you know, they had like a little sister fight or whatever.
Sister drama.
Sister drama. And so she finds the letters, sends them out, hoping that, yeah, it'll get back at her, but then also kind of lets people into her lives because she wants her to live a little bit.
So she's both mad at her sister and loves her sister. So she's like, I'm going to get back at you by making
fun of you, basically.
By making fun of you or
embarrassing you.
But at the same time, there's a understanding that I love you and I hope that you find somebody to love.
Or at least just kind of let yourself live life.
That is just way too complex for me.
No. But
okay. Yeah. And Lara Jean is 16, 17?
She's 15.
So I'm guessing so she's 15 and her sister's younger than that, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
So her sister is able to understand that she's going to do this one thing and then two things are going to happen.
So this is why...
I highly doubt some young child even knows that's going to happen.
So this is why I love Kitty. Because she's so much younger, but she's so like an old soul and she like knows herself and she's super sassy and feisty and like just amazing. I love Kitty. She's my favorite character. So she knows what she's doing, but she's also being a little brat sister, you know?
Okay. So she stamps it, sends it out, and these guys get it. Yes. And then these guys fall in love with her from these amazing letters that she sends out?
No. So are we just sticking to the first book?
Yeah, let's go ahead and stick to this first book because I don't know if I can wrap my head around the entire series.
Okay. So one of them for sure doesn't get it because it was addressed to someone at camp that she went to camp with. So it never got to him specifically because it went to the camp bunks or whatever. So that came back to her. But the other four got to the people they were supposed to get to. One being, which is like causes this huge like situation in the first place. Like if the other guys besides this one person got the letters, it probably wouldn't have been a big deal. But because the one person who got it, which is Josh, her next door neighbor, who is dating her oldest sister, who she was in love with.
What happened? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's stick to Josh. So Josh gets a letter. And then how does the neighbor come into this?
So he is the neighbor.
So Josh is the neighbor?
Josh
so
is
she
the
really
neighbor.
didn't need to mail this thing. She could have just dropped it off on his doorstep.
I mean, yeah.
Okay,
Which I don't know why Kitty does that.
Now what happens?
So he gets the letter. And because her oldest sister and him dated, it's awkward, and she doesn't want him to believe anything in the letter. She pretends to be interested in one of the other letter recipients.
Okay, wait a minute. Let's back up.
Yeah.
So Josh gets it. Josh has a girlfriend.
It's her oldest sister, who they've been dating for 2 years.
Holy crap. So Lara Jean Song has both a younger sister and an older sister. And
Yes.
the older sister has been dating the neighbor boy, Josh.
For 2 years.
For 2 years. Mm-hmm. So she has a crush on her older sister's boyfriend.
Well, they're intense crushes. They're like the love crushes.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So,
But
then Josh gets it. Her older sister finds out.
No. That's why she doesn't find out for a while. Because she pretends to like one of the other male recipients of the letters.
Oh, okay, because the sister finds out that she sends out multiple letters. And she's like, I'm angry at you. I'm going to get back at you by dating one of the other guys.
No.
Jesus. I can't keep track of all this. Why can't it just be straightforward?
It is straightforward. Lara Jean writes letters. Her younger sister gets mad at her, sends out all the letters. Her older sister is dating the neighbor, which is one of the recipients of the love letters. Mm-hmm. And for Lara Jean, she's like, oh my God, this is horrible because I don't want my sister thinking I was in love with her boyfriend. Okay, even though it was before they started dating. Okay. It's still like a sister code.
Of course.
Yes.
You don't break the sister code like sending out love letters that weren't meant to go out. So
after Lara Jean and Josh become really good friends when they're a little bit younger, I think they're in middle school because he's the neighbor. That's when she loves him, right? And then finally her older sister, her name is Margot. Yeah. Okay. She falls in love with him and they start to date. So then she's kind of like, let me write this letter because I have to be done with him because it's not okay. I can't be in love with my sister's boyfriend. And she loves him.
I see. Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
Exactly. So in order for her to make him think like the letter was just pretend, just joking, like it's not real, I don't believe it.
Like these are my personal thoughts and emotions and it didn't mean to go to you.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to hurt anybody.
Exactly. So she pretends to date one of the other recipients of the letters.
So that's what happens with Josh. How many other guys receive the letters?
So besides Josh, 3 others. So there's Peter Kavinsky, John Ambrose McLaren.
Good God.
And then there's Lucas. I can't remember his last name.
Just Lucas.
I can't remember his last name.
So does this take place like in the South? Or
no.
Like
actually, okay, the books take place in Virginia, but if you want a reference to the movies take place in, I think, Oregon.
Okay.
Which is like totally opposite. I don't know why that is, but that was
so all of these kids with very long names, except Lucas.
Well, I can't remember his last name because he turns out gay and it's like not even a thing. They just become friends.
Okay, then they all go to the same high school,
yeah.
I'm guessing? Okay.
Oh, except for John Ambrose. He moved away 5 years prior, and that's when she was like super deeply in love with him, and then he ended up moving away, and she was sad, and that's why she wrote the letter.
So what's the general consensus from the guys that receive these like deep, heartfelt letters? Because I can't imagine if I received one of these letters, like from this rando that's like pouring her heart out to me when I didn't really ask for it, like I didn't think that we had anything going on, but apparently from that one moment, she thinks there's something going on. It would be kind of odd to me.
I really appreciate it, but it's never gonna happen.
No. So some of the boys, she actually does have longer moments of time with them because she grew up with them essentially. And the majority of them, besides Kenny from camp, because he never receives the letters, we never get to meet him.
So Kenny from camp's always missing.
Yeah, he's always missing. Okay. You never even get to meet him. Lucas, he turns out to be gay even in the movie.
Lucas is off the board. Kenny from camp's off the board. Josh is off the board.
Well, so in the books, Lucas, yes, he's gay, but they become really good friends. So he likes her in some way. Even if it's a friendly.
He appreciates the letter.
Exactly. And he gives it back to her because he's like, hey, it's chill. This is private. You should probably have this back, And then with Peter Kay, I mean, in the books you find out he does like her at some point. when they were younger.
So Peter is straight and
Yes.
available?
Straight and not available. He, at the beginning of the book,
Which one of them is like readily available and is willing to accept her letter? Like
John Ambrose McLaren.
So that should be, at least to the reader, like the one that should easily be able to read the letter, probably fall in love with her, right?
Yeah.
It should seem that way.
Yes, and it's referenced to that specifically in the books.
Right, because everybody else is preoccupied.
Yeah, so like Josh, yeah, he was dating her sister, but also in the book, because it's different for the movies. If you're watching the movies and the books, in the movies, it's just like he's just confused and he just wants to understand what's going on, and he doesn't really like her. But in the books, come to find out, at some point he did, and he kind of wished that she had said something, not just wrote a love letter and packed it away and didn't express how she felt. So he did like her at some point. I don't know if he stopped liking her, it never really says. But then Peter Kay, he did like her at some point before he started dating this other person. And then John Ambrose McLaren, you find out, was just as deeply in love with her as she was with him, but nothing was ever said between the both of them. So him getting the letter was like,
So let me guess, there's several moments in this book where guys just pour out their hearts and then talk about their feelings in long paragraphs, long sections of exposition where guys just express their emotions.
I mean,
So well and clear,
yes.
like no other teenager can do. I remember when I was a teenager, I can barely understand my own feelings, let alone explain my feelings to someone else.
So John Ambrose also mentions that, saying that if he had wrote her a love letter at that age, it would have been something like, he's like, I love reading Harry Potter books with you. Your hair's nice.
They read
like,
Harry Potter books together?
Yeah, they read Harry Potter
Like right
books.
next to each other? Or
Yeah,
just like at the same time?
Because they had like a clubhouse, like a tree house, that all of these kids that grew up together.
So they were in the
would
treehouse
chill
reading
and
Harry Potter
read
together?
Harry Potter.
So I can imagine if we sat together and read a book,
Yeah.
all we would hear is just each other breathing heavily.
Falling in love with you.
Yeah, I'm falling in love with you.
Falling in love with
I
you.
love the smell of your breath.
We're in Hufflepuff together. Yeah, so they're both Hufflepuff.
So I can imagine that was a very like sensual situation where they would fall in love with each other. But hey man, Lara Jean Song apparently.
Lara Jean Song Covey.
So
Lara.
this is one book in a series
Yeah, of 3.
of very emotional stuff.
But honestly, though, when it comes down to, it's like her character and all the other characters, as weird as that may sound, like the guys expressing their loves and things like that, I feel like the Jenny Han, the author of the book, she does a really good job at like creating real characters that you can relate to and that you feel like would really happen in real life. Like in the movies, when they changed it to adapt to movies and stuff like that, I feel like they kind of made it a little unrealistic with certain things and like.
So she's 15 in this book. Do you feel like you could have written love letters like that at 15?
Yes, the love letters that are written, yes, most definitely, because
So
they're
not like Shakespearean
no,
love letter. Okay.
no, nothing like that. They're literally a young girl's feelings that are just kind of like straight to the point and more of just like.
Do they tell you what's in the letters?
Yeah, there's letters
Okay.
that she's written and that it shows you. And they're like normal things that a teenage girl, like even that I would feel, I've written love letters, like so lame, but it's like what I would have written for sure. You know?
I remember once I wrote a love letter to Santa Claus because I really wanted him to bring me presents.
That's right.
And I thought that like maybe if he knew that I loved him, he would bring me presents. So I kind of wrote, I think I was like 8 or 9, and I wrote a love letter like, "Dear Santa, I am deeply in love with you. You are so beautiful. I love your beard." I don't remember specifically what I wrote, but I remember writing that letter. And Santa did not respond like Josh did, or Lucas, or whoever it was. Santa brought me nothing that year.
No, John Ambrose.
Santa was probably very turned off by my letter.
He's like, this kid is not getting visited this year.
What a
Maybe even
weirdo.
next year.
Yeah.
How sad.
He's like, "I'm not a pedo. I'm going to stay away from this kid."
Yeah. That's funny.
So this is, how many books is in this series?
3.
So does this book wrap up the story good enough to where you don't need to read the second or third?
No.
Because I feel like if I read this book, I'm going to kill myself. I don't
No.
have to read the second.
No. Actually, I was really excited reading it. At first, I was like, wow, this is super different because I saw the movies before. and it's so different. But I feel as you kept reading, it just really pulls you in because it is relatable and it feels real. The conversations they have, the feelings that she has, the thoughts, things like that, situations. And then the way it ends, it's kind of a cliffhanger. So it's like, well, I want to know what happens to her and her relationships and whatever.
So you would be satisfied with book 1, but if you want to know more, you can read book 2 and 3.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, you're going to love it.
If you want like more emotions in your life, if your life is just doesn't have any emotions in it and you need to feel stuff.
Women.
Tell me about it.
So nobody dies.
Not during the
Does
story.
any like FBI agents show up to solve a crime where a werewolf is involved?
Werewolf?
No?
No.
Vampires?
No, that's not Twilight.
Damn it.
Read Twilight if you want that.
So in the comments below, let us know if you read this book. Let us know what you thought of it. Leave in the comments again if you want us to do more of a series like this where we talk about emotional stuff. What's the genre of this book?
Amazing.
Let us know if you think it's appropriate for a young adult audience.
It's appropriate.
We need to talk about your sexual health.
No, please
I
no.
want you to be safe.
Dad.
For sure. It's actually Lara Jean Covey is like someone I would hope one of my girls turns out to be.
So
she's amazing.
Is this book like PG-13?
For sure.
Rated R?
No, PG-13. There's a little bit of hot tub action, but it's just kissing.
Ayo.
All the tanks are ready.